Hi, this is Terry. I've lost 180 pounds on a meat-focused, low-carb diet. I've managed to maintain since 2022. Stick around because I never know what adventure I'm on.
Alright, so let us try and see what we're going to weigh this morning. Hey, we are back to where we were before Thanksgiving. See there? Just keep doing what you do. Eat you some fatty meat. Well, it don't have to be fatty meat, but just eat what you know you should be eating, and it's more. I peed 5 times last night. 5 times. And then this morning, I've already been 3 times. So just know it's water weight, y'all, and it will go off. Just give yourself some forgiveness and time, and, just make decent choices, and don't eat tons of the things when you do have to go out to eat. So, which I might be going out for church tonight. It's Jesus Day, but not Judy Day. So I might be going out to lunch with my church family. Okay, bye.
We are at a Mexican restaurant, and that's what I'm going to get. I'll show you when I get it. Lord, look at that. Oh, my. I don't typically eat with y'all, so. I told you, we may not have Judy today, but we had Jesus. And so I'm going to tell you what we talked about at church today. As always, if you want to hear my pastor, how it was said in the original context, because, we can all hear something in different ways and take something totally different from the conversation or from the words, like sometimes you see a movie or something and depends on what a person's going through in their life. They may hear something different than what somebody else might hear. I'm trying to find something I'm going to use your mug for right there. So anyway, dang it, you're over here. Hang on, I'm going to flip you because I keep looking the wrong way. And because of my phone doing this weird thing of not saving when I talk, I'm going to try to remember about every couple minutes to pause and then start, because dadgum, it's annoying to have to say this stuff twice. So hang on. First and foremost, I had kids' church today, and it was Christmas. Let's see, what was it? Christmas around the world. It was so stinging cute. So they talked about the traditions they did Ireland and Mexico. And I think in Mexico, what was it? Mexico was first. And they had a tradition in Mexico. This is what they said to remember Mary and Joseph. What they talked about was that the tradition for Mexico is that they go to one person's house and one night and they set up the nativity scene and then they eat. And then the friends and family go to another person's house and then they have the nativity scene and then they eat. So like I think he said it was 9 days. I'm worse than a child. I think it was 9 days. Each night they go to somebody else's house and they set up the nativity scene. And that's their way of remembering Mary and Joseph. Well, then the other one was Ireland. And for Ireland, he said that they put a candle, they light a candle and put it in their window. And that's how they welcome Mary and Joseph. So I didn't hit pause. I recorded about 20 minutes of conversation with y'all. And I didn't hit pause. And so the camera didn't save it. So there we go. So I guess God says, girl, you need to repeat this another time. I'm just kidding. So the message today was about the adult church, Christians in action. And I always say you need to log in and see Pastor say it, because I may be in one headspace and pick up certain things. You may be in another headspace and pick up something totally different. So please understand, this is my interpretation of what he said. For your interpretation, you really should go back in and watch it for yourself. And the link is always in the description of every video. It's called Connection Point Church, your CPC. So it's here on YouTube. So go watch my church. We're going to have Christmas the weekend of the 21st through the 22nd. So let me just see. I won't say it as good as I said the first time, but I got to remember to push pause. I'm going to try to keep my hand right here so I can remember. We're going to start off with Pastor said that the first, he said that a lot of the first shepherds were girls. I didn't realize that. I did know that shepherds were considered dirty, the lowest of the low, and they were not allowed in the synagogue. And so he said that, God sent Jesus and the angels to the least of us, which back then was the shepherds. They were the least of us. I mean, think of King David. He was just a shepherd boy, but that's who they chose to be the king, or who God chose to be the king. So the first evangelists were shepherds, and many of those shepherds were women. So we still have, he talked about, we still have gifts for God today. And that gift is time, our hearts, and our treasure. It says God can take a little bit and turn it into a lot. So like my hour that I spend at kids' church, he can take that time that I give to kids' church and maybe help show God through me to a little kid. He's like, we can show our family and friends and our coworkers and strangers the love of God through us. And so our little bit can spread and become a lot. So the topic today was the Magi. And he said that I'm going to mess up your nativity scenes here, but I got to tell it to you anyway. He said the Magi, they didn't get there to the stable. He said, I know it's going to mess up your nativity. He said, and we don't even know how many Magi we know there was. He said, we just know there was gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And so people assume that was out of 3 different people. So he said that the Magi went to King Herod and they told him, and he said they came to worship the king of the Jews. So the King Herod gathered around his scribes and chief priests, and he asked them, where is Jesus supposed to be born? And they told him, in Bethlehem. So Herod sent the wise men to find him and report back the location. And before they left, he asked them, what was the time of day and when did the star appear? And so the 3 wise men went on to found Jesus. So in Matthew 2, verse 11, he said that, he's talking about the Magi. They entered the house and they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and falling to their knees, they worshiped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So he pointed out that it was their house. So that was their home. That was not the stable. And then they saw the child. So he was no longer an infant. So the amount of time it took them to go from their homeland to Bethlehem to find Jesus, they say it's estimated about 2 to 3 years. And so he talked about how Herod, King Herod, there was a story in the past about Herod. They said he was so scared of losing his power that at one point, all he did was he suspected that his wife, his sons, and his mother-in-law were trying to dethrone him. And so he had all of them murdered. Only on a suspicion. There was no proof. That's just something he thought in his head. So he wanted to know the timing of the star. So at that point, he could go ahead and kill all the children 3 or under. And they went on to say that the Magi, they were Gentiles. And so they studied the stars and dream interpreters. They were actually royal courtsmen. And they were from Persia. So when they came, they would have had a huge entourage of servants, soldiers. And he laughed. He said, nothing says 3. Nothing in the Bible says there were just 3 of them. He said, so they would have come with a big royal pomp and circumstances. Then he went on to say that Herod was upset and pretending to worship. But when the Magi saw the child, they did worship from their knees. So, number 1, he said, here's the question we need to ponder. How do I see Jesus? So the Magi, again, not Jewish people, they saw, Magi saw what Herod and the priests could not see. They saw God in flesh. So when the Magi entered the house, he was talking about how they were peasants. They couldn't barely afford to get, they had to take some, an offering to be sacrificed, and they could only afford to offer a couple doves. And so, the well-off people offered bigger, more expensive things, but they were only able to afford doves. So to these Magi, they went into a peasant's home. And so they saw a peasant family and a peasant child. And he talks about how they kissed his feet and the ground and worshiped a peasant baby. So it says, there will be three actions whenever people talk about Jesus. And he asked which one would describe us. There's the rejection. People respond with rejection. So like say you talk about Jesus to a group of people, like King Herod, he rejected the idea of Jesus. The priests, they had apathy. They studied the Bible and knew where he was going to be born and how he was going to be born, but they didn't care enough to go along and find him. That's not what they thought it should be. So they were apathetic. Or like the Magi, the third reaction is with love and devotion. So it says, they sought him out and traveled all over and finally met a peasant child. When they saw him, they fell and worshipped him and gave the treasures to him. He said they opened and presented something, opening treasures in front of a toddler. He said they were basically showing, I have nothing else to offer. And he said they would have opened themselves in front of all their entourage they just presented it like here to a child. Okay. So because they knew that he was supposed to be the king. And so he said that they would have come from Babylonia, where David, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, where years and years ago, I think 500 years ago, they would have, they taught about them. And so these were the Magi that were from that area back then. And so they had still heard the stories from David being passed down. And then he says, so like the Magi, we must unveil our devotion with action. And he talked about in the Bible where it says, where treasure is, there your heart will be also. And then it said, he also went on to talk about Deuteronomy 6, 5-9. I only paraphrase. Love the Lord with all your heart, soul, strength. Repeat this with your children. Write it on your house and gates. So we need to show our faith in God to all and no longer be ashamed to live out our faith in public. So in other words, we need to give our time to God. And I feel like that's something that I need to work on. I know I talk to you guys about God and on Sundays I tell you about it, but I will not lie. In the back of my mind, when I talk about God, I hear the devil going, look at you talking about God. You're just a goody two-shoes. Or ha ha ha, people are going to make fun of you. Or look at you, you're just dumb. Da 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 da. I hear all these negative things. And I know that doesn't come from a place of God. That comes from a place of the devil. So that's something I really would like to work on, is living out my faith and not be ashamed. I do know, Peter denied Christ 3 times. And I'm afraid that had that been me, I would have done the same thing, because I'm just, it's something I need to work on in myself. So the big takeaway is active passion turns lifeless religion into a thriving relationship with God. So don't just go through the motions. We need to put passion for God into action. We don't need to just tell God we love him. We need to show him. And so he went on to say, 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 6-7, you rejoice in this, even though now for a short time, if necessary, you suffer grief in various trials, so that the proven character of your faith, more valuable than gold, which, though perishable, is refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ. He said, we're not going to see Jesus as a toddler. We're going to see him as the Revelation, which is Revelation 19, chapter 11 and 16. Then I saw heaven opened, and there was a white horse. Its rider is called Faithful and True, and with justice he judges and makes war. And he has a name written on his robe and on his thigh, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So we can hold our head up when we see Jesus coming from the sky or when we get to heaven by knowing that we don't want to just go through the motions. We want to spend our time with him. And so that's what we need to do. We need to give our heart and our time and give our treasures as well to Jesus. Well, that took less time this time. That was like 6 minutes less. Ha! I guess maybe it was a good thing. Anyway, so I think I'm going to work on my kitchen a little bit. Some of my stuff that I ordered from Amazon for organization showed up. So I think that's what I'm going to work on right now. I may not get everything done, but if I can work on that, it'll make me feel good. And I've got my house shoes on, but I need to go put on my tennis shoes. I'm telling you guys, there truly is something about putting on your tennis shoes. I heard that on TikTok, but putting my tennis shoes on really gets me in the motion, and it makes it easier to stand up and walk around and do, and I feel more spry versus in my house shoes where I'm just slopping my feet along. So anyway, I stopped at Ziggy's, those poor people. I wanted to know how to order my coffee through the app so that way I can order it. Bless her heart. There was like 6 cars that came as soon as I got out of my car and was standing at the window and waited for 6 cars. And finally she was able, after they were gone, to stop and tell me how to order. So bye, George. Now I know how to order. I'm super excited. So yeah, I get a daily brew, which is just the brew out of the coffee maker. I get a daily brew with just whole milk. And she says, I get the 20 ounce. And she says 20 ounce is a total of 6 pumps. And I get sugar free. So I do 3 pumps of English toffee and 3 pumps of hazelnut. But I think I might do 4 next time. Just for some little more flavor. Because I came home and added some of my flavored creamer to it. But anyway, so that's what I'm sipping on now. And it's about 2 o'clock. So that's what I know, and I love you guys, and I'll see you later. I'm going to go put my tennis shoes on and get to work on this here kitchen. You Sunday people are going to get a sneak peek at the house. Give me just a second, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you an update on what's been going on around this place. So the living room is done. I bought a couple trash cans. I really like them. I wanted a lid because remember I had mine up here, and so I wanted something to be down on the floor, but I couldn't because of the dog. So this one has a lid. It's just, you just go boop and boop. And then my tray came in, so I'm excited about that. This is another dog bed. I'll show you. I want it to go here. I'll show you the one it's like here in a minute. I didn't do anything really in here, but I cleaned this all off. So that looks, I have not decorated for Christmas. So please understand that. Oop, the dog sign is hanging. That tells people that there's dogs in here. Hang on, let me fix it. Okay, this is hangers so our local thrift stores would not take them, but I found a place, somebody who wanted them, and then the pants ones, those are going to go to a nursing home. So I've got this. I had a candle over here, but I'm like, you know what? I worked hard on my little red hat girl, and it kind of shows a little piece of me, my crochet as well as the red hat. So I brought that in here. It might be a little too much, but I'm too much sometimes. I'm going to give you a sneak peek at the hoarder's room, but you got to look up first. So what I will say is that I wanted to get the floor done. And then, so I did phase 1, which is the floor. And then phase 2 is going to be all the things. So we now have a floor.
I have that box and all these boxes I'm actually saving because in phase 2, I'm going to be going through all these books and donating or throwing away. I'm going to be going through paint stuff. I'm going through drawers and yarn. And so I'm going to be going through all this stuff. And so I'm keeping the boxes for the moment in here until I figure out what I'm going to donate and what I'm not. That's a bag full of bags, like Walmart sacks. And I got that for the same reason, you know, if there's anything glass that I need to kind of help protect. But overall, if we don't look on the floor, well, no, I guess we should be looking at the floor. That is what's done. He's just shocked that there's, you know, floor in here. What is this? Work. Oh, no, I can't let you see that. That's a surprise thing for work. Anyway, so toilet paper, some toilet paper down there, sewing machine. I got rid of I think I told you this yesterday, that the antique sewing machine. I'm really excited. The thrift store said they would keep it, and they were going to see what they could do for selling. Then we'll come into the bathroom. I told you this is another trash can I got. You push it and open it. Again, the dogs. And I thought, you know what? I made this too. And so it represents my red hat time. And so that's just fun. And this is dragonfly to match the dragonfly stuff. I actually got that when the Teen Challenge guys were at Walmart some one time. Anyway, so this is... Oh, it ain't perfect, but, you know, if somebody walks in, I won't be totally embarrassed. And, you know, I cleaned out my drawers, and believe it or not, this was actually cleaned out. I put my washcloths and towels and stuff in there, and I even cleaned out the closet. I know it's not perfect, but it's good enough for me. Then I did the... So, you know how I told you all I bought that Advent calendar? And it came with toys. I gave them 2 toys today. And, hey, buddy. What you been doing here, Clyde? This was one of them. Joy. It's all slobby and wet. This was the other one. Actually, I gave one to him and one to Lou. And, I think Lou is just as guilty as Sammy. There. Little twerp. So, yeah. All right. Well, it snowed in my house, but not outside. So I took all the things that were on here. Listen, this is so terrible. Like I'll wear like a long sleeve pajama shirt and I hang up 3. And so I go 1, 2, 3. And then whenever I put the one that I have on, I'll throw it over there and wear that one next. I wear them like twice and then I put them in the washer. But this one I got on now, I think this is the second time. It's pretty dirty. But I can't keep pillows on the bed because they de-stuff things. So I bought another little trash can for this room. So this one will, I can put my Kleenexes and stuff in there and the dogs won't be able to get to it. And that's my cuddle pillow. I sleep on those 2 and hold that one. Then the dogs will let me hold them. So anyway, so I've got, this is the bedroom, and I put my shoes. Those shoes are down in there. Y'all are getting a big sneak peek. And in here, so hang on, we'll go to the other room. It's a good thing I got clothes on. The kitchen, I had done my pantry. Listen, I don't know what's been uploaded and what's not, so I'm just showing y'all. I cleaned out that. And cleaned off that. I cleaned off my table as good as I'm going to get it. Cleaned off this area and this area. I actually just finished all this today. I cleaned out in there. You'll have to wait for the video in there. But look up there. Not a bunch of junk up there anymore. So cleaned up over here. So, yeah. So this... I don't know what I'll have to keep those out. I wish I could get them in smaller sizes like that one right there. But TJ Maxx, the big ones are the same price as the little ones. So it's kind of dumb to do it, but they're so stinking big. But the only place I could even maybe put them would be in here. So that's a thought. I'll have to remember that. So someday if you don't see these up here, you'll know I ended up sticking them in there. So, but anyway, because like I said, I'm just trying. Oh, shoot, a monkey. So notice I don't have my flavor enhancers over there. That's because I have them up in here.
And I've also putting this little jobber up here with my scale. And look, my flavor enhancers are up here. You'll have to wait around for the kitchen video. But overall, yeah, so that's how I'm doing. And that's how it's been going. And I'm pretty stoked and pretty excited about it. Listen, instead of me talking to y'all while I'm eating, I'm just going to let y'all see what I've got. I've got my Greek cucumber and feta cheese and tomato salad. I got steak, green beans, 2 tortillas. Since I didn't get no tortillas, this is my egg life wraps. And then the cheese tonight is bruschetta cheese. Oh, that's going to be good. This is my 5th one, bruschetta cheese. And then my creamy chocolate toffee. Look, vanilla chocolate peanut butter and salted caramel. I forgot to add the Equip one. This one's pina colada and strawberry. I did them both with strawberry. So this one is going to be good. So, oh yeah, and this is the perfect texture, you guys. Just look at this texture. Man. And I released my video today. So I released my video today, and it was me saying I'm sorry because I have not been in the comment section because I've just been so busy working in my house. Ooh, that hair. Listen. No judgment. No judgment. I've been a working girl. I'm a working girl. So anyway, but yeah, so I've been busy and I am so sorry. My comments are so far behind. So I will be working on those starting tomorrow because doing this kind of cleaning, I have to have 3 to 4 hours to designate for it. And I can't do that throughout the week. So I promise I will be focusing on my comments. And I'm truly sorry. Today's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So today's your Tuesday. I love you guys. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I told y'all I would show you the dog bed. I almost forgot. It's one just like this. It's smaller. Now, I don't know if the dogs are going to like it or not. But it's a small, this is not part of the dog bed. This is something they were wassailing around with. But yeah, so I like it because I can walk through here and not stump my toes. With the other one, it came to about here. So I had to kind of walk in kind of like this. I had to shuffle my feet through there. What is that? Oh, a piece of something that they done chewed up. But anyway, so yeah, I had to kind of sidestep through there so I didn't smack a toe. Don't look at that fur. All right, bye.